Hey, let's change the way you think about bandwidth. All right, let's take in mind our little human brains once again. We only have so much bandwidth that we can keep in our minds, that we can function, that we can execute well. You can multitask through a whole bunch of different things, but are you really doing them well? You can keep in your brain hundreds of different things, but are you really paying them the proper attention? Once we can search ourselves and know ourselves the best way, we can really determine how much personal bandwidth we have to withstand, maintain, and hold all of the information and chores and errands and things that need to get done during the day or week or month. We need to be content and happy with filling our bandwidth and not overfilling. So whenever we're, looking at our schedules and it is just jam-packed, there are seasons of some sacrifice time where you are just pedal to the metal, you're getting it every single day. Those are great seasons. But if they're pushing you over your bandwidth, you're gonna burn out. Those have to be seasons. There has to be an end to it. So when you're figuring out what your bandwidth is, there are a few things that you can knock out that are going to bring things down for you automatically, that it makes life much more doable. Very first thing, declutter your house. Declutter your house. If you will go and watch every single episode or podcast video that the Minimal Mom has put out, you are going to be so stinking empowered to declutter and get rid of at least half of your stuff. All of that stuff is taking up mental bandwidth, whether you're really realizing it or thinking about it. It's in there. It's stored in the back of your brain. And if you don't have the bandwidth to maintain all of the things in your home, get rid of it. All right. Get a calendar. Get a journal. Write your stuff down. Whenever I'm feeling really super overloaded and my bandwidth is just bursting at the seams, if I'll write it down, actually make a list, actually write down what's bothering me, I tend to find that I don't have very much to say. I just keep letting these ideas and lists and things that are bothering me be on a loop, replay in my mind over and over and over. And then it feels overwhelming. Write your stuff down. For real. Okay? Another thing, take time to yourself. Take time to meditate. Take time to sit down. Take time to color in an adult coloring book. I don't care what you do, whatever brings you a little bit of peace and declutters your mind from all of the things that are nagging and eating at you. You can pick it back up. You can gather all of your things again, but take the time and the space to just chill, to just declutter, relax your brain, get back into what's bringing you peace, and then pick it back up. And once you're picking it up, you can really weigh out what is needed to be picked back up. You don't have to gather everything. It gives you a little space to say, okay, that one isn't really necessary for me to worry about anymore. So, your bandwidth. Think of it. Everybody has different bandwidths, by the way. You don't get to say to somebody else, Well, come on. What's wrong? I'm a mom of 3. I got a full-time job. I got this. I got that. My kids do sports. I do this. Why can't you? You don't get to say that. You know your bandwidth and you let them know their bandwidth. They might not be able to handle half of the things that you can handle. And that's okay. You let them be how they are and trust them when they say, I'm just too overwhelmed for this. You have to trust them. Okay? Now, on that note, you trust yourself also. So, shoulding on yourself, saying, well, I should be here. I should be the class mom. I should be able to get my kids to school or to practice I shouldn't make them ride the bus. Shoulding on yourself is not a healthy thing to do. You are allowed to say, I'm sorry, that's not in my bandwidth right now. My kids might get to ride the bus. That's okay. I might only get to go to half of their games because I have to work. That's okay. You are doing your very, very best with the bandwidth that you have. But you have to know your bandwidth. There are things that you can take out, declutter, release, be able to say no to, that frees up some more space if you need it. You got to prioritize what's going to take up the space in your bandwidth in your brain. Okay? Stop shoulding on yourself. Declutter everything. Mind, house, calendar, schedule, declutter it. And you know what? It's okay to say, I don't give a shit right now. You don't have to give a shit about everything. 100, 200 years ago, we didn't have all of these things coming into our brain that we had to deal with. We didn't have to watch the news every day. We didn't have constant ads bombarding us on Facebook. We didn't know about every single thing in the world that's going wrong. We didn't have to think about all of the sadness that is thrown at us nowadays. That all drains on your mental bandwidth. So while I want to be balanced and I want to be healthy, I attempt to eat healthy. At this point in time, for me, I gotta say, I don't give a shit about my weight. It's not in my bandwidth. I don't have the time to go on another health journey, to start exercising. I'll try to pack some healthy snacks. But other than that, I have to allow myself to say, this is not the season for that, and I can't give a shit about it. And then don't. Drop it. Let it go. It doesn't get to take up your bandwidth. Everything in the entire world cannot be on your plate at one time. It might not be the season for that, and that is okay. So, know yourself, make your priorities, write things down, write things down, write things down for real. And clear up your headspace. It's okay to take time for yourself. It's okay to say I don't give a shit about it. At least right now. It's okay to say that's not in my bandwidth today. It's okay to say no. I love you so very much. Have a great day. Hey, you made it to the end. Be sure and click on the next video to keep the party going. And don't forget to subscribe.